fatenzo.com, 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 fatenzo.com. Fatenzo.com, fatenzo.com.
That's me. All right, and we are live. I got my Andrew Breitbart war cap on, and talking to Roger Stone on the phone live, and just getting some comments from him regarding all the things that are going on today. There's a lot of stuff going on. Roger, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you giving me your time, and time is the most important thing. It's the most valuable thing in this life, and I appreciate the little bit of time you've given me this evening. Thank you so much.
Well, Bobby, I'll be back with you because I'd like to do this ultimately from the studio, but I'm trying to put the finishing touches on my book, Roger Stone Did Nothing Wrong, My Political Prosecution and the Loss of the 2020 Election, which I'd like to get out by August. As you probably know, but most people don't, on Election Day, November 3rd, 2020, the United States Justice Department at midnight released the last redacted sections of the Mueller report, which admitted once and for all that they never had any evidence whatsoever of my collaboration with the Russians or WikiLeaks or Assange. And of course, all of those major news organizations who accused me of that in blaring headlines, none of them, of course, reported this stunning truth. And let's face it, who puts out a statement at midnight on the busiest news day of the year unless you don't want anyone to see it?
It's so you're writing a book, huh? Roger Stone Did Nothing Wrong.
A book. I'm writing a book about the 2-year ordeal, the Soviet-style show trial that I was subjected to, the unconstitutional rulings by the judge, the epic corruption by the Mueller prosecutors, the corruption of the jury and the jury forewoman. If it can happen to Roger Stone, it can happen to anyone.
It's
in
been
the blink of an eye, all of your rights are suddenly gone, just gone.
It's been a total roller coaster ride, and I've seen it, not even that from that far away, and what you've been through from getting raided that morning, that early morning hour raid by the FBI, and coming out on the steps like that with your hands saluting and the Nixon salute. And I mean, all the iconic things that have happened from Washington D.C., all the trials, and you finally did get pardoned. At first, Trump, he just what exactly did he do at first? He didn't do the full pardon.
He commuted my sentence because the Justice Department, in violation of their own rules and federal regulations and all legal precedent, still made a special exception. They wanted to send Roger Stone to a prison in Georgia where there were over 200 active cases of COVID-19, which really does violate all their own standards. So in other words, Michael Avenatti, Michael Cohen, Rick Gates, even Paul Manafort, these guys were given home confinement. But this was really a death sentence. The idea, of course, was for me to die in prison so that my appeal would never get to the courts. Since I never got a chance to press my appeal, and in all honesty, after the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals refused to order the dismissal of the charges against General Flynn, did order that the president's lawyer, Don McGahn, did have to discuss his confidential conversations with his client, but Hillary Clinton did not have to testify against her about her illegal email server. I realized that going to this court was futile, that the law, the Constitution, the rules don't matter. All that matters is the political agenda of the most liberal court in the United States, that in the D.C. And I'm convinced no Republican, no conservative, no libertarian, no free thinker, none of those people could get a fair trial in Washington, D.C.
Now, Roger, you've had a long career, though, in politics in Washington, D.C. And, you know, a lot of times people don't realize how bad things are until it actually happens to them personally. Did you have any inclination, though, that it was this dirty in Washington, that they would actually go to these depths to
No, actually,
destroy?
this is pretty shocking. Look, I wrote a book about how Lyndon Baines Johnson, I believe, maneuvered to murder his predecessor, Lyndon Johnson. I don't know how much dirtier than that you can get. If you have not read that book, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ, you get it on Amazon. You can get it at the stonecoldtruth.com store. You get a signed copy. But I make a pretty good case. Now, that actually pales in comparison to the unconstitutional crimes here. I mean, it is unbelievable that it appears to me that Barack Obama and Joe Biden used the full authority of the United States government in order to activate the extraordinary surveillance capability of the intelligence agencies for strictly political purposes, without any legitimate reason to open the investigation. They knew that the Steele dossier was fraudulent. Comey told us that was but one of a mosaic, he said, of evidence. But the closer we look, the more we learn they had nothing other than the Steele dossier. And Andrew Weissman, the number 2 man in Mueller's hit squad, as a deputy attorney general, he knew the province of the Steele dossier. He knew where it came from. Of course, he didn't disclose that conflict. So, no, this will go down as one of the most epic political scandals in history. But the good news tonight is Donald Trump leaves 2020 a winner. Mm-hmm. And this is, I give total credit to two men, Donald J. Trump, who had the good sense to fire the rest of his lawyers and put his future in the capable hands of David Schoen. David Schoen represented me in sentencing and would have represented me in my appeal had I gone forward. He is the only lawyer I've ever met who understands the overlay of both politics and the law. Because the lawyers only see things within the bounds of the courtroom. They often do not understand the greater outside forces that have an impact on what happens in the courtroom as well. Schoen did a superb job, I think, of, first of all, demonstrating the unconstitutionality of the impeachment thing. You can't remove somebody from an office. They have already left. It's just common sense. And then secondarily, the hypocrisy. Trump called for violence. What about Chuck Schumer in the Supreme Court? Maxine Waters? How about the sitting vice president? I mean, all of these people said things that could be interpreted that way, yet they are not wearing the burnings in Seattle, in Spokane, and in Kenosha, and Philadelphia. No one sees connection between their advocacy of extremism and those events. Yep. So it's just, the whole thing is ridiculously hypocritical.
It's all clown world.
Yes, it really is.
Clown world.
And I'm really glad that David Schoen was there to do what needed to be done for the president.
David Schoen, now that attorney, is he out of Florida or is he like strictly out of Washington D.C.?
He actually practices, I believe, out of Alabama.
Okay,
Very good, very good man.
Yeah, like I said, we are totally in clown world. Let me ask you a question. I've asked a couple people this. Let me see if you pick up what I'm throwing down now. Nobody really picks up on this though, but I know it seems kind of insane to think. I mean, when I was a kid and I'd hear about like Joseph McCarthy and all the, all of that stuff happening or whatever, and how these people were being, I guess dragged through the mud. That's what you hear, though. That's what you hear from history and stuff like that. Me not having lived through it, that's what I always assumed, because the winners are the ones who write the history books, right?
But that's why the McCarthy era is not.
Was Joseph McCarthy right?
Well, there's a terrific book that you must read by M. Stanton Evans, which is like the size of the Bible, and I think it is entitled. A conspiracy so immense, I believe. But in any event, I strongly recommend this book because it makes a very, very strong and compelling case that McCarthy was right and that McCarthy was maligned. Now, McCarthy was sloppy and McCarthy was wild, but he was, there were communists in government. That is a fact. They did need to be rooted out. Harry Dexter White, very high level in the Treasury Department, was a Soviet agent, for example, guy who was in charge of the printing plates for our money, actually was a communist agent. So Alger Hiss was a communist.
What about the infiltration in Hollywood?
I think it took place then. I think it has taken place now. In fact, it probably never really changed.
No, I just feel like it intensified. And they just basically made up like, oh, it was just all, it was all for nothing or whatever. And they kind of made all the perpetrators into these kooks throughout history. And I think slowly throughout the years, they've really sunk their grips into like society. And now we see what's going on. Or do you think they were totally in communism or what right now? I mean, a lot of stuff's happening, like Gina Carano. What do you think about the Gina Carano thing?
I'm unfamiliar with who Gina Carano is.
That was she was in the show The Mandalorian. She was one of the characters, and she
shows you how completely out of touch with pop culture
I am too. I've never seen this movie.
I've been busy counting Senate Republican votes.
Why are you so detached from it? Is it because you've been kicked off of all the social media?
Well, that's probably part of it. The other part of it is that's not. To the extent that I had free time, that's not how I would use it to watch stuff like that. It's just not my taste.
This is just a news story that was going on, maybe in the Twitter sphere.
There's a substantial number of documentaries about the 2020 election or about Trump in which I appear. I haven't even seen those yet. I've never even seen them. So you pitched me one that I couldn't hit out of the park.
No, it's okay. So Trump is, so what do you think about the acquittal? So
I'm very pleased because the impeachment was just a gross act. Something's wrong when Congresswoman Green is removed from her committee assignments because of comments she made. But Eric Swalwell, who literally was sleeping with a Chinese spy who had placed an employee infiltrating his office, is still on the Senate Intelligence Committee and was one of the managers today. Talk about clown world. There's clown world for you. Mm-hmm. That's beyond belief. That's just beyond belief. Eric Swalwell. This is a guy for 2 years insisted over and over again, Roger Stone is a Russian agent. And what it turns out is he's a Chinese agent. And that's a fact. Although in my case, I had no connection to the Russians, as you know.
Absolutely. And so what's going on with like Alex Jones? You doing InfoWars still? Right?
I do not. I appear occasionally on InfoWars, but I am not. I am not a regular on the InfoWars platform.
No.
I will be revamping StoneColdTruth.com very shortly. That will the site of a daily podcast, also a daily video cast. Put a lot of energy into that. So
that's right. When are we going to start our $1 million podcast? When's that going to happen?
Well, you look so much like Bill Buckley, I think people would be confused.
Yeah, right. Bill Buckley, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but he was awesome. Bill Buckley was great. These kids today don't know who he is, though. You know?
No, they have no idea how great he was. That is absolutely
And you know who definitely doesn't know who he is? The guy who's also on the line, my Bernie bro buddy, Dave Wright. That's obviously an AKA. He's all scared. He doesn't want to give his real name and stuff like that. Yo, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, man?
Nothing much.
Dude, I got you on here with Roger Stone, the one and only.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Mr. Stone.
How you doing? What's going on in Bernie land?
Bernie land, we're just trying to fight the establishment like you guys were doing. Keep getting hit and get.
Yeah, I hear you. In the end, 3 out of 7 3 out of 7 Bernie voters ended up voting for Trump in the general election. I think largely because Bernie's positions on trade and war were more similar to Trump's than they were to Hillary Clinton's.
Well, Trump ran on an anti-establishment message. That's what turned a lot of Bernie people on, because that's what we basically are. We just want our government to work for us, like the old progressive days. You know what I mean? When Ike was in charge. You know what I mean? It's just to bring back the good old days. Finish what FDR started, and all the other, and Teddy Roosevelt what he started. Just take care of ourselves. Don't worry about other countries. No more wars for oil. No more wars for anything. Just worry about our own people. Why don't we just declare a war on the homeless? You know what I mean? Try to help these people out. It's just sucks that we have to keep fighting with each other and nothing ever gets done.
Roger, do you even have the mental capacity at this hour? I mean, thank you very much for joining us live here, 12:34 a.m. And we got the Bernie bro on. I mean, can you rationalize, can your logic even work any kind of magic on this guy?
Probably not. First of all, I respect true progressives, true liberals. You don't see them very often. In other words, you see hypocrisy. The people like Hillary Clinton give lip service to a progressive agenda, but when it came, for example, to criminal justice reform, it took Donald Trump to finally do something. The Democrats milked the votes of blacks and Hispanics, poor people, for years on this issue, but then never really did anything. And it took a Republican president to do that. I find that interesting. Bernie is not doing that well, given the fact that Biden basically snuffed him on the minimum wage, stuffed him on the means test for the relief package. So I think the progressives are beginning to get angry within the Democratic Party.
Did he? He snuffed him on the minimum wage?
Yeah, no, they lied to us about the $2,000 checks what Trump and Bernie promised us. He's trying to give us $1,400 checks and say, oh, the $600 from Trump, that count. It's total bullcrap. We're not even getting it until March. It's like they're playing stupid games with like trying to impeach President Trump when we should be worried about a stimulus package and helping out small businesses. Over 100,000 small businesses crashed during this pandemic, and they received no help. It's like we're too busy playing politics to be worried about the serious crap going on. And it's not good for our country.
Well, I agree. Anyway, Bobby, as you can see, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to finish this chapter of my book before I retire for the evening, but it has great to be with you, and next time we'll do it from the studio.
Thank you very much, Roger. I appreciate you jumping on with me on your Saturday. Have a good one, sir.
Thanks.
Well, thanks a lot, Dave Wright.
Well, maybe we'll have some other chats later on.
You scared away Roger with your stupidity.
No, we agree on. Dude, he had a long day today, man.
Yeah, I know. I did too.
We agree. We agree on many things, man. This is going to be a long debate.
Yeah, It's gonna be a long. Yeah.
He doesn't have a problem with true. You heard him. He doesn't have a problem with true progressives.
Mm-hmm. Are you a true progressive? You think?
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm an independent progressive, man.
Yeah. Who else can we get on the phone? You have any other ideas? Huh?
I don't know. Just, somebody call in, please.
Yeah.
Unless I hate to call it a night. We just got all pumped over Roger Stone, man. Are you kidding me?
Somebody call in. Come on, here. Hey, who wants to call in? No, we don't even have that many people watching. If you want to call in, it's 866-970-9997. 866-970-9997. If you want to call in and talk. What do you got to do? It's Saturday and it's 12:37 a.m. What do you got to do? So that's so great, huh? Come on, talk shit on a podcast. So anyway,
so you were talking earlier about I don't know, to the one guy you had on earlier about your Proud Boys and stuff like that.
Who?
About you guys having no leader.
Okay. What about?
What are you guys going to do about that?
Oh, well, no. Who doesn't have a leader?
No, I'm talking about like.
I was joking.
Which direction are you guys going to be going now?
I was simply joking with the gentleman.
No, I'm talking about
McCrum?
Which direction are you guys? Yeah.
It's good that you're talking about this because this is all the same episode anyway. So yeah, it's good to round it out with the conversation about McCrum anyway. You know, McCrum, I'm so God, he was sad. He was a sad boy. He really is. He really was. It's horrible to lose your parents, right? I mean, Dave, don't you know about that? You share that same kind of thing, so.
Yeah, but there's other things to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about this impeachment thing?
Dude, I mean, we already talked about it, dude. What do I think about it? I think it was just all stupid from day one. It was the dumbest thing ever. Who cares? And that's it. You know, that's it. It's
the only thing I want to know is, was Trump happy or sad that they did that to the Capitol?
I don't know, man. He's very patriotic. That's a good question. I think there was probably both, man. You know, I think it was probably both. He's probably both. Probably experienced both.
I just don't believe in violence, man. I just really wish you guys didn't go that route.
What do you mean, you guys? You know?
I mean, like, not you guys. My bad for saying it like that, but I'm just saying everybody. Like, you know, I mean, I'm looking at, like, I was watching the movie Salem with Martin Luther King, and like how he just fought for a peaceful protest. Even though they got beat down, they still stood up and did peaceful protest. They didn't fight back. And it's like that movement carried on a lot farther than anything. So it's like, why be violent?
Mm-hmm. It sounds to me, Bernie bro people have this like crazy like idea of utopia in their brain, basically.
No utopia.
Yeah, they really do.
No, we just don't want wars. We just don't want violence with each other. We just want to be all Americans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the progressive way. There's no bullcrap. I mean, not all progressives think like me because I'm an independent. Because you got Democratic progressives, you got independent Republican progressives. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like you really could work together with us. Like Tulsi Gabbard, for instance, you guys don't have Ted Cruz sucks, man. Everybody, Rand Paul sucks. Everybody you have kind of sucks. They're all for sale. No offense. You guys got to replace them with people that are going to get voted and get elected. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. Think of all this crap that Ted Cruz talked about Trump before Trump got elected. Mm-hmm. I can't even forget Ted Cruz for that.
Dude, Ted Cruz has an awesome haircut, so don't talk shit.
An awesome haircut?
He has a better haircut than you do?
Was he going in for battle?
Yeah, dude. War. Fucking war, bro.
War with who?
War.
The establishment that he works for?
We all need to go to
war.
With
who? With who?
Hold on. Ted Cruz mullet haircut. Yeah, dude. He's got a mullet. You didn't see this?
Yeah, he looks like Mad Max or something.
I guess so.
I don't know. He looks weird.
Bam.
I think he's probably going to take over the Senate.
Bernie was a Trojan horse. That's what they said. Bernie was a Trojan horse.
No, Bernie was he's an independent progressive, and what's it called? The establishment took advantage of him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going nowhere. Even when he dies, it's still going to go on. Like I said, you guys are pissed. We're pissed. The American people are going to start waking up pretty soon and stop letting our government take advantage of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just got to stop fighting with each other somehow. Oh, you're pulling up Ted.
What?
No, you're pulling up the Ted Cruz thing?
Dude, we got to get somebody else on.
It's freaking almost 1 o'clock.
So what?
Oh yeah, you want to help me with my building reefs around Florida?
What is it?
Clean up our waterways.
Tell me. What is it?
I want to put what's it called? Hemp ropes underneath people's docks, and eventually the ropes will have growth on them, like oysters and sea squirts and everything. And it'll create like a habitat for fish, and it'll also filter the water.
It's a terrible idea. Terrible.
What do you mean? It's better than nothing. Hey man, we live in Florida. We might as well keep it beautiful.
Very, very horrible idea.
Whatever. What are you doing?
I don't know. Trying to make money. Basically. That's it.
You got to sell shirts.
Yep. All right, so we can't get anybody else on here, huh?
Or is this show going to be dead?
I guess so.
Yeah, because we talk on the phone all the time. Unless you want to find something to talk about.
Dude, I just
Let's talk about DeSantis.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the best person. I love him.
How's he the best person and you love him?
He just is. He's the best.
No, he was supposed to be anti-establishment, and he ended up being for the establishment.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. He was like, that's why I laid off him at the end, because I knew Andrew Gillum wasn't going to make it. And I mean, and DeSantis is kind of like saying he's going to go after Big Sugar and this and that, take care of Red Tide and whatever. And then you look at Lake Okeechobee, look at freaking Fort Myers and all that. They already have Red Tide in his winter time.
Yep. And did you see that DeSantis told Biden to go fuck himself?
Yeah, because whatever. But that's what's bullcrap is like you have the news that it's Fox News that's saying open up schools, don't wear a mask, open up everything, blah blah blah. Then you have CNN saying close everything, wear your mask, you're a scumbag if you don't, get the vaccine, blah blah blah, and just like. The country is just torn apart because one person's hearing that news and the other person's hearing the other, and you just have both of them fighting with each other.
Snopes is saying that didn't happen. Actually, look at this.
What?
It's saying it didn't happen. Man, my buddy was telling me how awesome it was that Governor DeSantis told Biden to go fuck himself, but apparently. It says, no, Governor DeSantis didn't tell Biden, go fuck yourself. The governor of Florida did express unhappiness over potential COVID-19 travel restrictions, but not in so many words. The claim is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis reacted to possible COVID-19 travel restrictions by telling U.S. President Joe Biden, go fuck yourself, during a February 2021 conference call. False. So it says... An email exchange between Snopes and Facebook spokespersons documented a failure to respond to... What is this, man? Where is it fake? Origin. In early February 2021, social media users shared a story published by a website called Real Raw News that reported without evidence that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had told U.S. President Joe Biden, "Go fuck yourself." It was a quote fabricated in response to news on February 10th, 2021, reported by McClatchy that the Biden administration was considering travel restrictions within the United States in an effort to mitigate the spread of more contagious mutations of the COVID-19 virus. McClatchy reported the Biden administration is considering whether to impose domestic travel restrictions, including on Florida, fearful that coronavirus mutations are threatening to reverse hard-fought progress on the pandemic. Outbreaks of the new variants, including a highly contagious one first identified in the United Kingdom, as well as others from South Africa and Brazil that scientists worry can evade existing vaccines, have lent urgency to a review of potential travel restrictions within the United States, one federal official said. DeSantis was described in news media coverage as blasting or attacking the Biden administration in response to the news. And in a February 11th news conference, he made clear he was opposed to talk of possible travel restrictions imposed on Florida, calling it unconstitutional and stating we will oppose it 100%. But there is no evidence that DeSantis swore at Biden by telling him to go fuck himself. The Real Raw News story described in remarkable detail an apparently fictional conference call between DeSantis, Biden, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Rochelle Walensky, and Anthony Fauci, the head of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, who has been at the forefront of the U.S. coronavirus pandemic response. We found no evidence that such a phone call took place. No credible news outlet has reported what would be a remarkable and newsworthy exchange between the Florida governor and the president had it actually occurred. DeSantis' real reaction to the possibility of new travel restrictions was, however, recorded in the following tweet. And he just has like a tweet down here or whatever. Oh my God. So yeah, God, I thought he was so awesome. I mean, you know, DeSantis is really getting like a superhero kind of. People are starting to like, I don't know. They're starting to love the guy.
I'll explain what's happening right now.
In the conservative circles, it is.
Okay, but let me explain what's happening right now.
Yeah.
There's investigations going on right now, and Governor Cuomo, New York, he's getting busted for not lying about the nursing home deaths. I don't know if you saw that news article yet, but he's getting bashed by everybody, CNN, everybody.
Yep.
And but now they're going to be going after DeSantis next.
Mm-hmm.
Because he lied about the numbers too in the nursing homes.
Dude, what? No, he did not.
Yeah. Wait.
No, he didn't.
Wait,
dude,
it happened over here.
You're like,
dude, it happened right here.
You're
right
hoping
in Pinellas
for
County,
that to
it
happen
happened
or something, dude.
No,
What?
I'm not hoping for nothing to happen. It happened here.
Yeah, right.
All right, you'll see, man.
Dude, I don't believe you.
All right.
And stop
You'll
lying.
see.
And stop lying.
I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not lying. I'm just saying it happened right here in Pinellas County at that Freedom Square, whatever.
Oh, wow. I know that place.
Yeah, like a bunch of old people there died, and they weren't even accounted for. It's like you read the stories on that place. It made it national news. That's how crazy it got.
I got my I have another Italian who might want to join. That would round it out with because Roger Stone is half Sicilian, so and
I forgot to ask him about the sauce.
I mean, God, we could. You should have got his attention. You know, he's obviously had a long day. I could hear it in his voice.
I made a mistake. It was my first time talking to somebody that big.
No. I'll punch you next time I see you. Next time I see you, you're getting punched in the face. That's it. Just for that, I'm serious. You think I'm joking?
I know.
Bastard.
Well,
and I'll probably do it tomorrow.
With people.
I'll probably do it next weekend, hopefully. If I come over there and we go see that sweet boy, and go hug him because his mommy, was lost just like mine. And then I might go over to your house and probably punch you in the face for that. Because
I didn't even do it.
You did not do the right thing. You didn't talk about what were you going to talk to Roger Stone about his sauce? Tell me. Tell me.
What was I going to talk about Roger Stone about?
About the sauce. Tell me.
Oh, no, I was going to tell him, like, whatever. Just, like, just use it simple. Don't put sugar in and stuff. Use the natural stuff. Good ingredients. Simple ingredients make the sauce taste good.
Mm-hmm.
It was tomato sauce, tomatoes from Italy, fresh parsley, fresh garlic.
Yes.
Whatever, you make it all together, man. It's not rocket science. Listen, you're Italian. How long have you been making sauce for?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't start really making sauce until I worked in an Italian deli. When I was like 18 years old. So.
Yeah. Italian families, you kind of like learn to fend for yourself.
That's when I really started to learn it. Okay, hold on. Let me bring this guy in here. This is Danny. Hey, another Paisan.
What up, brother?
What up, man? Hey, listen, I just had Roger Stone on the podcast, and we're just keeping it going. He had to get off the phone call, and I got my Bernie bro friend. He's on the call. He's Italian too. And what are you doing? You're what are you at? Denny's, you said?
Yeah, I took my boy out. He's super drunk, and he's like, I need some Denny's.
Are you super drunk as well?
No, dude, I don't even drink.
Can you talk politics for like 10 minutes or what, man? It's good to spice it up.
For a few minutes.
Yeah, let's spice it up. Add somebody else on here who has a different perspective. Now you're going to come into the studio and do a podcast at some point. And you had stopped by and you're telling me some of your ideas. And you wanted to get some people that had different perspectives. So, some liberal leaning people, right?
Like liberals who are not brainwashed, I guess you could say, that could have a normal dialogue.
Yeah.
Right? That could have a normal disagreement, have an intellectual conversation, an exchange of ideas without calling someone a loser or, just, and this kid that I'm with right now, he's as left as you can get, but he's my boy. And we could have conversations, and then it's done. It's over. We move on, and he's gonna be managing my restaurant. I managed him in Hollywood, with my management company, my production company. So that's a dialogue that we need to be able to have again.
I agree fully, but isn't it okay though if you're really good friends? Can't you just get one past the goalpost and just say, Dave Wright, you are retard. I mean.
Fuck you.
No. It's true, but it's true. It's true.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
But can I tell you something?
And why do all Italians own a restaurant somehow? Or they're talking about working at a restaurant somehow?
It's just in our DNA.
It's in our DNA.
It's either a restaurant or concrete, one or the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I had a TikTok account, and within 2 weeks, I had like 75,000 followers, and all of my posts were getting 300, 400, 500, 600,000 views. But all of my posts were like, they were very, not only were they, I felt like intellectual, but they were very respectful. So if someone had a different opinion, they were a liberal or progressive, I approached them in a different way. And I got to tell you, I got a lot of great feedback from them. And also from other Trump supporters who were like, listen, I really appreciate that approach. We're so tired of fighting with people. We just want to have an exchange of ideas and find a way to meet in the middle. That's where I come from. And I don't, honestly, I can't imagine doing it any other way.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I try to say that to Alex, to Roger Stone, but he didn't like it too much.
Well, no, he doesn't. He didn't understand what you were saying. He's
tired.
He didn't understand what you're saying because you're illogical. You're an illogical Bernie.
Whatever.
Boy.
I'm an independent progressive. I don't take sides. I didn't vote for Hillary or Biden.
Yeah.
Well, here's something I always think. Like, I feel like if the thing with me, like with progressives and liberals, is that I think they come from a good place, like emotionally, but they don't see the unintended consequences. And one example is the $15 minimum wage. The big companies plan for that a decade in advance, and that's why now all of these big companies have what? All the big store chains are starting to have the automated checkout lines. All of those jobs that are lost. I go into a Target or one of those places. I refuse to go onto those lines. But those are progressive ideas, $15 minimum wage. And the big companies are like, that's fine. We're just not going to hire those people. And then we're going to reduce their hours, and we're going to exchange the human workers and human employees with robots. And that's exactly what a automated checkout is. So to me, those are the progressive ideas that I'm like, that doesn't work, and this is why. And you could have you fight with a liberal all day long, but then 10 years later, those same liberals like, I can't believe we're losing all these jobs. I'm like, but literally was your idea that caused those jobs to be gone.
I mean, you could not have enunciated exactly how I think and what I feel perfectly. You did it, you summed it up 100%, you know? And it's really that simple. It's the fact that they don't have all the information and they're just running on emotion. That's really it.
But you see, my problem is, like you just said, Bob, but we're all in the restaurant business somewhat. And I remember back in the 80s, like when the Italians come over here, they're working at pizza shops, wherever, and they drove Z28s, they had a gold chain, leather jacket. They make good money. They're living like rock stars. Now, you every pizza shop you go to in New York, whatever, it's all foreign people. There's no Italians in there anymore because they don't want to pay nobody what they should be a living wage. And no offense, a living wage is not even $15 an hour. If people have more money, it's more likely they're going to come to my establishment and spend that.
Now, tell me about your, you don't have to get crazy personal, but you have some experience with, with this amount, this $15. Didn't somebody always start their employees at that somebody who's close to you?
My dad did, because my dad he came here from Italy. He started with nothing, and he opened up 14 restaurants at one time. But he has like a couple successful ones that are still open, whatever, today. But he always paid his employees good money, and that's what kept the place running good. He always told me you get what you pay for.
He would start them high, or what?
Well, he'd just be paying them more than what any other place would. So the people would never leave. Like, we have somebody there, one of our places has been there for 25, 30 years almost. Because he makes so much money. He has 3 houses. He came here illegally. He came here illegally. He started from the back, worked his way up. He owns like 3 houses now. He's living the American dream.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to leave.
And your father came here illegally as well, is that right?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah. So
and I can name a lot of businesses around here that they came here illegally and they opened up restaurants. Or businesses.
This is a very complex issue, though, but I think what a lot of people don't understand is if you go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, those low-income jobs are actually really important, but you don't remember who they went to. They went to young American kids, black, white, Asian, who were 14, 15, 16 years old, and they learned workmanship. That doesn't exist anymore because all of those jobs now have gone to illegal aliens. And that's a big part of the work mentality that young Americans are missing out on. They don't get that. When I was 14 years old, I busboyed. I made nothing. That was the best thing about it. I had to work my ass off and make nothing. And that was how small businesses survived. They were able to bring in these low-income employees who are typically young kids who don't deserve to be paid anything. They deserve the fact that they're in that restaurant learning. That's the greatest experience that they're ever going to get. And then they have room to pay their more senior employees bigger wages. Like, those are the people that are, have the children and whatnot. That doesn't exist anymore. This is a very complex issue. And America has changed pretty dramatically. And we've lost that. Honestly, it's a big problem.
I agree with you, and I you know
It's just
I
a
deal with that
living
all the
wage.
time. No, I deal with that all the time, dude. Because there's young kids. I want like a young kid, honestly, a younger person that has a lot of
Yeah.
energy, wants to learn the trade.
You can't afford to pay them.
What do you mean?
It's hard to pay them
If
that.
somebody's young and they're hungry and they want to learn something, they want to learn a trade. I'm not saying that I'm not going to like pay them well. I do pay my employees well, but I
Pay the minimum wage.
I pay them fair, what they're worth, what their
Are
value
you gonna
is.
pay them, would you pay them $15 an hour?
Based on, I pay people more than that, but you know, they've worked here
But if
for a
you're
little while.
15
though.
years old, you don't. If you're 16 or 14 or 15,
I mean, yeah,
you're-
it's not legally. You're not legally working age. I mean, I started washing dishes when I was 12 years old. We're at a different restaurant, and shit, I wasn't getting paid nothing. I don't remember making that much money.
I worked at 14, but we had a worker's card. Like we were able to work at.
I didn't even
such a
have
young
that.
age.
I just worked under
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah, at that young age, we were able to literally work that young, and that doesn't exist. But you got to understand something. If you're a small business, and let's say your company brings in 500,000 a year, and your overheads, you know, 425, with paying minimum wage, or you know, how are you going to pay $15 an hour? How does
Yeah.
it even work? It's a tiny, small little business. You start forcing these.
I mean,
You know
what about if you raise your prices?
Listen,
When's the last time
okay,
you raised your prices?
I got to tell you something. Dave Wright, aka whatever that name is. That's not your name, but anyway, you act like everything is a pizza. Pizza is has a lot.
No, it's pizza. It's restaurant businesses.
Pizza
everything.
has a lot of profit.
Tacos.
Okay, some businesses don't have as much profit as a pizzeria does. I mean, how much profit is in a pizzeria?
How much profit?
Yeah, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of profit.
I mean, there's also profit in the hamburger place or a breakfast place. It just depends on the quality. I mean, the problem is now is like no place can raise up their prices because nobody will come. So they got to tap into the quality and make the quality crap.
Yeah.
It's a hard market right now.
You just said like, oh, raise the prices, but what if you can't raise the prices? If you price yourself out of the market, and no one starts coming to your restaurant anymore, then no one has a job.
Mm-hmm.
And that $15 an hour means nothing.
Somebody just said rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, but it's not really robbing Peter because if there's nothing you really could do. It's like, okay, say you're a food product, say tomatoes, right? 1 week they're 1 month they're 1 year they're $20 a case, $25 a case, whatever, and then the next year they go up to $40 a case. You adapt to that. So when your business grows, you should adapt your employees into that too. Like give them more money, but they have to have a shelf, but give them enough money to make them happy, and none of them want to leave, and actually make something of themselves in there.
But here's the problem, though. If you're a counter kid at a restaurant and you're expecting a living wage, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Those jobs are reserved for people that are in that transitional point. You're not supposed to make a career as a pizza delivery person.
I agree 100%.
You're supposed to go through these levels where you're bettering yourself. Answer me this one question. Out of all these people that demand a living wage, how many of them wake up every single day learning on how to properly invest, how to better themselves? How many of them are getting up, exercising every day, studying, learning, reading, going back to school, trying to advance the way they think, trying to advance their skill sets? Tell me how many people in the United States that are constantly in a position of failure are doing those things. I see so many people. I see so many people complain about not having this, not having that. Well, meanwhile, they just came back from 7-Eleven. They bought a case of beer and a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, you're going to get drunk tonight. Why don't you put that to the side, stop smoking cigarettes, stop drinking, and get on the computer and learn something. Educate yourself. Make yourself more valuable. You're only worth $9 an hour. Why am I going to pay you anything more? Your temperament is worth $2 an hour. Your attitude is worth $4 an hour. You're literally one of the most lazy human beings I've ever. And that is so many people in America.
Mm-hmm.
So many,
especially in Florida.
Get up and,
I don't know how old you are, but I remember in the 90s.
He's our age.
Okay, he's our age. So you grew up in the 90s. In the 90s,
yeah.
tell me the 90s weren't good. Tell me in the 90s you could work in a restaurant and be able to afford to buy a home. Because I know a lot of people in the 90s that worked for me, and they bought a home and everything like that with their tax return.
Dude, in the 50s, there was one house income, and you could afford to have 3 kids and 2 cars and
a plumber, a mechanic to do that.
So
God, those were the days.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why isn't that happening now? Like, it's stupid like that. It should be like that all the time.
But that's because we exported our jobs overseas.
Right. All our labor.
For cheap labor.
Yes.
Okay, and that's
that's what it was. When I think back about my grandfather, a tool and dime maker, right? And in the 50s or something like that, I could picture what he would think, where he looked at this dystopian reality where all of the stuff was made in China. Could you believe that? Think about the greatest generation, our grandparents. Think about them in their heyday, right when they're they're young and vibrant like we are now. LOL. But you imagine what they would have thought if they had seen this.
No, it's insane, dude.
Oh God, man!
Let me tell you one more thing. One more thought to this. Really, please. One more thought is I got Palm Beach. Palm Beach is directly across from my shop, right? And some of the richest people in the world live right there. And I have some customers who are from Palm Beach. And one of them was telling me how you make wealth. He's like, you make money, you make your initial money from labor, and then you make your wealth from investment.
Holy shit. There's a tornado out here.
Is there?
Where?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm in Pinellas County. Holy shit box.
Well, I hope it.
I reported a tornado once in Tennessee.
Yeah, no, this is like the second time. Probably like the third time I'm probably gonna see one. Whoa. Yeah, I just seen one here about a month ago.
Yeah, I hope it scoops you up.
Yeah. Okay, Dorothy.
Yeah. No, for real. Did you even hear what I said at all? Huh? No.
Yeah, I heard what you already.
Listen, no. This millionaire dude was telling me this is how you make all the money. In life, you make all your money from first. You make your money from labor, and then you take that, and then you make your wealth from investments. So if we are, as a country, if you're going to run the country like a business, okay, think about like Donald Trump. He was the best president. And he just ran this country like a business. If you take and you export all your labor, that's all your money-making power that you're going to use to create wealth later on by investing. That's what we did. We outsourced all of our power, basically. You understand? Comprende?
Yeah.
Capiche?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes. Cabbage.
Yeah.
There's an interesting quote in the Bible, a passage that talks about a city without walls. There's no city at all. It's about discipline. There was a point in America where we kind of lost that discipline where, globalization, right, super important, but then we started to outsource. We lost our discipline and we started to very quickly, exponentially outsource America. And when you do that, we left so many of those people in the middle class left behind. So that living wage that you're talking about used to exist, but it cannot exist in this type of economic environment anymore. We no longer live in that type of an economy. We live in an entrepreneurial economy. So if you don't have an education where you're going to be picked up by a Fortune 500 company and offered a 6-figure income, then you need to go out and become an entrepreneur. And if you're not going to become an entrepreneur, then you're going to need to be a 3-job person. It's just as simple as that. There's nothing, you could not legislate out of this economic issue as long as the rules don't change. It's impossible, because all you're going to do is force hundreds of thousands of companies to close their doors, which then is going to then open up the doors for the bigger box companies, the Targets and the Walmarts, to open their doors, and they'll start hiring people at much lower wages because they don't need to hire them full time. Yeah, I'll give you $15 an hour, but I'm only going to give you 20 hours worth of time, and I'm going to have literally robots stocking my shelves. In 20 years, there will be full-on robots stocking shelves at Walmart, and there will be no people at the register whatsoever.
Now, do you think that this is good, that this is like a good evolution? It's necessary.
I mean, if you want cheap prices, what can you do?
But is it going to be better for people to be entrepreneurs, more people to be entrepreneurs?
I think that all the cashier jobs is going to be gone. But if we had free college for everybody, they could learn a different trade. Or if we had shop class in class again, we don't even have that in class anymore.
No, he never teaches.
I mean, when you're in middle school, you guys remember going to shop class. We don't even have that.
No, you don't have. Listen, here's what progressives and liberals don't understand. In 100 years from now, if you went to bed and woke up and you saw the world that was created, you would be horrified. And here's something. If you go back in time, from every fallen civilization, the Bible calls it when Babylon is falling. Every civilization literally gave up the morality, and technology became their god. That is the truth. That is fact. It's happening once again here in America. And when America falls, the world will fall behind it.
It's the Tower of Babel.
Here's every single high school student should read the famous book written in the 1800s called Democracy in America, where the French sent one of their representatives over, and they said, "Tell me what's going on in America." And that individual came to America, reported what was going on, and came back and said, "I cannot believe what's happening. There really is no government. They are bartering. There's entrepreneurs. They're taking care of their property. This is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like that ever before." That was what America really, to me, was all about. That doesn't exist anymore.
That was a progressive era, almost. Like, back in when we had middle class back in the 40s and 50s.
Sorry.
Life was different. And all we're trying to do is we're trying to finish what FDR and Ike started and Teddy started. It's not nothing new. It's just we're just trying to finish their idea that the establishment stopped. And I think that we're all fighting for the same things.
But you're talking about the Great Society. The Great Society was the biggest disaster in American history. Do you know that before 1965, Black Americans were outpacing white Americans in almost every single category with zero government intervention?
Absolutely. Black Wall Street.
All you have to do is go back and watch the great documentary from last year called Uncle Tom. Watch that documentary, and it will blow your mind.
Oh, my God. I want to see that.
Go watch the documentary Uncle Tom, and it will blow your mind, because there are things in there that nobody knows about Black America, about how productive and how successful they were and how they were coming up. And then all of a sudden the progressives came.
Hey, hold on one second. Holy shit. I really got a tornado in my area, in my house. Here.
Nice.
You better take some cover.
I just had the car. Yeah.
Dude, what a perfect way to end this podcast, dude. Listen,
no lie, man. I gotta get my family, put them in the hallway.
Good, dude. Good. I hope you get. Destroyed by a tornado. My bad. I really do.
Yeah, I appreciate. Hey, it's coming down your way, anyways. Dick.
No, I hope you get destroyed by a tornado.
No, it's coming to you. Don't worry about it.
So, adios. Goodbye.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.
Proud of you, boys. And that's that. It's been great. It's been a late night. I know we started this off with a little, phone call with Roger Stone. Well, actually, we didn't start that off. We started off tonight with a conversation with McCrum, who is an awesome Proud Boy. Guy's the best. Memphis Kang, followed by a quick conversation on the phone with Roger Stone. We included Dave Wright, my progressive idiot friend. He's an internet troll. And then capped it off with Danny Costanzo, who's another guinea. And, you know, what he was saying was sensible, fully sensible and fully logical. And I think that everything he said went right over Dave Wright's head. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you giving me the time. You know, time is so precious. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and proud of your boy, baby. Thank you for watching Bobby Pickles Podcast. Share, please share. I can't wait till Parler gets back on. Share this shit, like it. All the algorithms are going against yours truly. Bye.
Bobby Pickles Podcast. He always says that's me. With that look on his face, he'll talk about anything. Outstanding. Tattoos, t-shirts, politics, history, and hot talk on everything. Bobby Pickles. Pop culture, documentaries, conspiracy theories, sarcasm, and fear. It's a conversation, start listening, cause we're all here. Bobby Pickles Podcast. That's me.
What?
Yeah, it passed.
Well, we're off anyway.
No, but I'm just saying, now you hear the ambulances and everything going and following it.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, no lie, dude. This is like the third one that came by my house. Like,
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I seen it right by my house.
Cool.
Like, went over my house. Whatever.
I don't care.
I'm sorry for pissing off Roger Stone.
It's okay.
No, but I would like to talk to him again.
Yeah. We'll
I
do it.
knew he was tired.
Dude, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. He just whatever.
Yeah, he didn't want to hear that shit.
He didn't want to hear you. You're
Yeah,
dumb.
I know that.
You're dumb.
What the fuck? I'm not dumb. I'm just a progressive.
No,
Nobody
you
else
are.
will listen to
That
progressive.
means you're dumb. Progressive means dumb.
Oh, God.
Progressive
You know, people look at
equals
him.
dumb. Dumb equals progressive. They're interchangeable. The two words are interchangeable. Okay?
Oh, God.
Do you understand yet? Huh?
You guys are just bullies.
No. Fuck you.
Bullying the little progressive.
Fuck you. I'll see you next week.
No. Hey, what's it called?
What?
You got to help me out with this T-shirt idea, man.
No. I'm not going to. I refuse. I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
No, it's good money.
FansEnzo.com